My name's Josh Martinez. Before I joined the cohort, I was working as an intern for an IT startup. That's when I kind of got a taste of the startup lifestyle. Just go, go, go. And I was also going to college as well. So
Nice.
I've taken a little bit of, for cybersecurity, so I've taken a good bit of technical courses.
Did you know how to code before you enrolled into boot camp?
Not on a serious level by any means. I mean, I'd taken a few intro to coding classes, but other than that, I hadn't really coded very much.
And just to jump to conclusions, I guess, how many apps have you built since you've learned Flutterflow?
We're on number 4. Like, we have like 3 that we're ready to get out by next week.
That's awesome. I believe you and your brother started a consulting firm. What are you guys doing around Flutterflow?
Actually, it's all Flutterflow. So it's me, my dad, and my brother. We're starting a mobile app development company, and we are going to start doing freelance work for anybody we can find that needs an app. So anybody who needs a proprietary app, we're going to try to bid to get that contract, and then see if we can make some money doing it full time. Yeah, it's actually been one of the great things about joining the ambitious cohort is everybody is willing to help, and everybody's willing to trade some work for work, and that's been great. We actually met with somebody today who you linked us up with, who we're gonna see if we can do some work together on AI Bible Buddy. So
oh, nice. Yeah, he's my friend from the gym. I'm happy you met him. He's a cool guy. When we first launched this cohort, we were promising everyone that they'd be able to build an app in 3 weeks. Were you skeptical that you wouldn't be able to build an app in 3 weeks?
Yeah, definitely at first. I also didn't know exactly how much work goes into just building an app, alone. But yeah, 3 weeks just sounded crazy to me. My brother, he was building his app, and it was taking him a month to come out with one feature, and you were saying we could build an entire app in 3 weeks. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I guess you were one of the more advanced students. You guys picked it up pretty easily. I guess if we just want to jump into what other apps have you built using Flutterflow?
Let's see. So we've done AI Bible Buddy. That's the one that's on the App Store now. We're actually looking at, for the first month, we're on track to have 100 users.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, and we haven't done any promotional, nothing like that. So it's been kind of cool just to see, you put something on the App Store, you haven't, promoted it at all, and you're actually getting users, people using it.
Yeah. I think I mentioned that during the class. The App Store search is such an overlooked discovery engine. There are literally people out there searching for AI Bible, and your app's probably coming up at the top.
Yeah, definitely. Another one we're working on is AI Recipe Buddy. We're not very imaginative when it comes to names, but AI Recipe Buddy is actually one that we built in Ambitious Labs, the AI chef.
Nice.
So we're using it to just, kind of whatever ingredients you have, plug it in, and here's a recipe for, whatever you have, whatever you need. At first, the GPT was kind of giving weird responses, but now that we've kind of, learned what it needs, we've actually been getting some really good responses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with even tips added. We didn't never do that. We never told it to do that. It just added tips at the bottom.
Oh, wow.
It's been pretty cool. And then Kabila, that's the one we did. That's the co-founder matching app that my brother, that's his startup. It's been kind of a roller coaster for him. Like you said, he was building his app in React, and that's, real coding for big boys. I don't want to say it like that, but it's real coding, and he was kind of getting down because he was the only person doing the technical side of things. And it was taking him a month to get out one feature. We saw your videos on YouTube, and my brother's like, "Hey, let's check this out. This actually kind of looks like something we could, do." And 3 months later, we have one app in the App Store with 3 more to come next week. So it's been a roller coaster for the past 4 months. You're really just giving people the means to do things for themselves. So just the overall value, it's exponential. It's just crazy because you can take something like this course, take this course, and then in 6 months, you're in a completely different place than you were 6 months before. So just on overall value, it can be exponential. Yeah, and some people are on different, I know me, I wanted to become a full-time entrepreneur. I had a lot more time than, say, somebody who's got a full-time job.
Yeah.
So that was a little different for me. I know for the testing, we didn't really get into it, I don't think, that much. I think we did get into the test environment, and we did test to see if the API call worked for ChatGPT. But one of the things I noticed is when I was helping maybe somebody who asked for help, they didn't even realize the test environment was a thing. There's a lot, because I mean, you have, some things like when you publish on the web, certain features won't work on the web. When I'm trying to test a feature that I have just created, and I go and test it in the test environment, I'm like, oh, okay, everything works fine, and then I deploy it to that test flight, and all of a sudden I get on my phone and it's like, oh, this isn't working the way I thought it was supposed to, or
Right.
it didn't work the way it did in testing. So I've seen a lot of disconnect between the test environment and what
And
I
a device. Yeah, I've seen that too. And the way I've had to do it for Virally is just download the code. I've actually hooked it up to GitHub so I can just quickly do a git pull and then Flutter run iOS, and it'll just spin up a simulator on my local, and I will get a simulator that allows me to test what it will feel like on a device.
That's pretty quick.
I'd recommend that to you. Yeah, hook it up to GitHub first. That way you can just do a git pull.
Yeah.
That way you don't have to wait for it to download from,
Yeah.
wait for the source code to download from Flutterflow. And yeah, that's been the quickest way for sure.
That is one thing I've noticed recently, is that I've spent a lot of time waiting on either it to deploy or the test environment to pull up.
That one thing with Flutterflow is like, you have to sit down for 3 hours and just work. Like,
Yeah.
there's no multitasking that you can do. If you multitask, your session's going to expire. You're going to have to try it again. Flutterflow is a game of patience, and you can move very, very fast, but you have to do it all within like a 2 hour or 3 hour block. You can't expect to just like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there.
Yeah.
Like, it won't work that way.
Yeah.
I'm very guilty of that. I'll be like, oh, like, let me squeeze in 30 minutes before I go to bed. And then like, it takes me 15 minutes just to get set up. Would you recommend the course? And who would you recommend it to? Like, what type of person?
Oh yeah, 100%. Someone like me, someone who's been, I've done a little bit of everything. I've worked construction, I've worked IT, I've worked at a furniture store. I've done a little bit of everything, and I know what I don't want to do, and now I kind of have more of an idea of what I want to do. So I think it's really for somebody who is trying to figure out what they want. And if you don't want to necessarily be a part of the corporate structure, this is definitely the way to go, to be a little bit more reliant on yourself. It's taking a risk on yourself, but it's definitely, it'll pay off in the end if you work hard enough.
Second to last question. Can you list out the skills that you picked up during the class? I'm just curious. This is a new question.
Okay, so like it gave me a different outlook. So when we were talking about responsiveness, that was actually a big thing that I didn't really think about before. It's become a huge problem with these apps that were coming out. And I was like, oh crap, I should have been thinking about that from the beginning.
Yeah.
That definitely gave me a different perspective.
Were you familiar with REST APIs before?
No, not very. I mean, my dad and my brother had done a lot of those parts for me. So, doing it myself was it was new to me.
Nice. So REST APIs. How about like JSON and databases? Was that new to you?
Yeah, that was new as well. So
Okay.
definitely. So that's one, the database structure, the one-to-one, one-to-many terminology that really actually helped me think about how I need to, pass data from one place to another.
Who would you not recommend the course to?
I mean, I think you kind of touched on it, like somebody who's been, coding and developing for 20, 30 years,
Yeah.
probably don't want to do this. Somebody who thinks they can put, 20 minutes a day into working and think that they're going to have a startup or an app in, 3 weeks, probably is not going to happen. I definitely think people who have a strong work ethic, that's somebody who I would want to recommend to. And everybody who I've interacted with in the cohort, it's been great, honestly. Like, every interaction I've had has been a good interaction. I haven't had a single interaction that's been bad. So
Yeah, it's really, really cool to see everybody come together.